Good evening. Ofqual, the exams regulator for England, has pointed the finger of blame at ministers for the chaos surrounding this year's results. Ofqual's chairman says ministers were warned that the emergency grading system could lead to major problems. Roger Taylor added that ministers were advised to hold socially distanced exams or to delay them. And if those options were unworkable, he said, then using calculated grades would be the worst case scenario. Labour said it was now clear that the Education Secretary, Gavin Williamson, had been responsible for the mess. During the day, millions of pupils in England and Wales started to return to their classrooms, as our education editor Branwen Jeffreys reports now from Shropshire.
First day at secondary school in a pandemic. Teachers keen to reassure them.
I've spoken to a few of you and it's completely normal for you to feel really nervous, to have a funny feeling in your tummy perhaps, feeling a little bit tense.
Each day they will be in their year group bubble. Some of the year sevens told me they've missed a lot.
It feels like I'm not old enough because we missed loads of year six. So it's pretty weird, but it's all right at the same time.
It feels like I forgot a lot of things since I haven't been to school in a long time.
Maybe in the next couple of years there's going to be some baseline stuff that we don't really know because we missed it in year six.
Before they sit down to learn a bit of cleaning, a lot for schools to manage. The head teacher worrying about the year ahead. She's still angry about this year's grades crisis, not impressed with an apology from the regulator.
Ofqual should have been very mindful that we've got to ensure that this cohort of children are not prevented from moving on, and that should have been paramount. So the fact that they're saying they didn't give that enough consideration, I think, is really quite disgusting.
And he was a witch hunter. Of all jobs you could be, he was a witch hunter.
They'll work for 5 years towards GCSE exams. To each child, their future grade's important. This year, an algorithm put the system first. An admission today to MPs, it was a mistake.
To say this was fair just fails to recognise what happened to students, just the level of accuracy that was fundamentally possible with the information that was available was too low to be acceptable to individuals.
There were warnings it could put schools like this at a disadvantage. Today, the Prime Minister wouldn't be drawn on what he knew, but said they acted quickly when the problems became clear. But ministers were told that socially distanced exams were the best option.
Our second option was to delay exams, but the third option, if neither of these was acceptable, would be to have to try and look at some form of calculated grade.
So the decision to cancel exams was taken by the Education Secretary against the advice of the regulator, announced without warning. Today, the government insisted it had no choice. It's been a tiring first day, but they're happy.
This morning I felt scared because it's such a big school and I was a tiny school, but now I've got to know different people and I know where I'm meant to be, and it's just felt good.
For ministers, there's a long autumn term ahead. Branwen Jeffreys, BBC News, Market Drayton.